Advance! Yeah! At the double! Make raw! Orders understood! Fire on the enemy!
G'day team, welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday, so time for another episode of Total War Tuesday, where you and I jump into a couple of battles or a small funds mini tournament against an opponent in any game from the Total War franchise. Now today we are back in Total War Rome 2. It just seems to be a favorite. It seems to work really well for the small funds tournaments actually, just because you get very interesting factions that can come up against each other. The game's at a place at the moment where it works, and it has been for quite some time now. So if you haven't already picked it, I am playing as the Pergammon. I brought a couple of these Galatian swords at the front, 3 of them to be exact, 2 Agema spears, so quite a bit of money invested in these units here. And in the center I've got one, where is he? One Galatian spear as well. Now oh, here we go. My captain here, my general here is a Pergammon's noble cav. Now you can see we just crested this hill, and what we saw was my opponent's army down here. So he's now marching through this little encampment here. So I suppose I would take this opportunity to kind of line up on this hill and try and get some downhill charges. Maybe refuse my opponent's skirmishing capabilities, because you could see, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was an archer unit and a slinger unit. So he does have the skirmishing advantage because I have none. So if he can use them to their full potential and keep them going until kind of like the end of the game, then he's going to be in a good place to defeat me. So right away, that's chasing up this hill is a late Libyan hoplite. And now we can see the rest of the army here. So late Libyan hoplite, looks like he's got 2 of them. 2 Carthaginian hoplites as well. A mercenary Cretan archer, so a lot of money being invested in that unit there. It's now firing into my Galatian swords. And a mercenary Balearic slinger. So 2 mercenary Iberian cav and a general's bodyguard. So definitely a lot of money has been invested in my opponent's my opponent's skirmishing capabilities. So straight away I'm going to engage with my Galatian swords. These Galatian swords should have no problem taking out those late Libyan hoplites. He is going to get caught on a couple of my Galatian swords here with his mercenary Iberian cavalry. But you can just see, like, look at the gradient here. So any charge that I get downhill is going to do huge amounts of damage. My opponent firing up the hill, it's going to be they're going to be at a huge disadvantage firing uphill from there. So my opponent's definitely not in a good place at this point. I'm going to use my Galatian spears to chase off his mercenary Iberian cav. Now this is probably going to be the most brutal downhill charge that you will ever see. Boom. Holy shitballs. So these are Carthaginian hoplites. Keep in mind, these are very heavy spear infantry, and they just got flung like 5 meters down that hill there. I'm going to pull out my Pergammon's noble cav if I can. I'm taking a lot of shots from these, I think it's a Balearic slingers at this point. I'm going to follow up with my Galatian swords there and hold down a couple of these different units. My Agema spears are getting some very nice shots in here with their javelins. Here we come with the Galatian swords, going to chase off his skirmishers, make sure they can't do anything. We did finish off the Carthaginian hoplite that was up here on this flank. I am going to engage with my swords against his Carthaginian hoplites. They're not going to do too well. His Iberian cav is just getting mowed down by my precursor javelins. And my Agema cav probably going to make short work of these Carthaginian hoplites. There goes one Iberian cav, the other one's gone. And my opponent now just has a couple of very powerful skirmishers, but not really too many means of defending them. So it looks like my downhill charges have taken its toll on these units, because this unit, Carthaginian hoplite, 109 men left, they're actually going to rout. The same is going for these Carthaginian hoplites over here, 120 men left, not doing too well at all. Going to try and thread the gap, get in here with my Agema spears, getting a very nice jab toss there. My Pergammon's noble cav, I'm going to turn around and get a really nice charge into his general. Good stuff there. Pretty solid engagement, though he is going to be able to get his late Libyan Hoplites half strength into the back of my own Pergamese Noble Cav, so I'm going to try and get a unit of Agimus Gears in this, into this combat quick smart. Don't want to lose that engagement. My Galatian Swords getting a lot of kills actually. They are perfect coming up against spear infantry, so I guess in this respect they can be quite useful. I'm going to use my Galatian Spears to just chase off the skirmishers, keep them busy while I wrap up this engagement over here. We did manage to kill off that General's Bodyguard, and look at my Pergamese Noble Cav, 120 kills and rising. Agimus Spears, 92 kills. These Galatian Swords though, also getting quite a lot of kills, 179 that unit there. So yeah, at this point, my opponent could really defeat a lot of the units left on the battlefield, but the only kind of downside to what I have in terms of his perspective is these Pergamese Noble Cav. If I didn't have these units on the field with their mobility, then he probably would be able to kind of halve my units at this point if he played it right. So he's just popped quick reload, and he's going to get some very nice volleys in here. Definitely getting some kills. You can't expect not to get kills with those Cretan archers, and we're going to chase these Balearic slingers off into the sunset. So I'm just going to hit forward here, because that's pretty much the end of the game. I think you guys can probably... It's pretty obvious who's going to win this first match here, just because I do have the mobility advantage. So that's game one. Jujubear managed to wrap up his skirmishes. Decisive victory, lots of kills on those Pergamese Noble Cav, picking up 60 just at the end there, killing off those mercenary Cretans and Balearics. If he had managed to hold off, or, I mean, the fact that I had that downhill charge was just too much for his Hoplites to handle, really. And the fact that he had nothing to counter my swords with was not too good either. I mean, if he had a little bit more time and a little bit more space to utilize his skirmishes, it probably would have turned out a little bit different to what actually happened. Anyway, Battle over Dasos. We've got Epirus coming up against the Boii. I definitely am at a disadvantage in this match. I've got a lot of really shit units and an elephant. So what I'm hoping to do, I know that I can't really win the infantry engagement, I know that. So what I'm going to do is hopefully hold down all of my enemy's units. So I've got 3 militia hoplites. They should hopefully last quite a long time in extended melee. So I'm going to hopefully engage with these militia hoplites, put them into hoplite wall, just hold down each unit, use these Illyrian levies as well, just to hold down different units. And then from there, I'm going to use my mercenary Indian war elephants to kind of tear through different formations and start routing some units. As well, I've got this Hellenic Royal Cav. If I can use these guys correctly, I can probably get quite a few kills as well. Don't know why we're moving like that. Anyway, so my opponent's build here, pretty scary stuff. He's got 3 of these Celtic slings at the front, 3 Celtic warriors, 2 Levy Freemen on that flank, 1 over here, Noble Horse General, and a Light Horse. So the rules for this tournament are max 3 of the same unit, and you can see that he's maxing out 3 very cost-effective units in these Levy Freemen, the Celtic Slingers and the Celtic Warriors. So he's maxed out all of those units. My opponent does get a really nice javelin volley in here. I forgot that these guys had precursor javelins, so I was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't mind if they shoot at my elephants, or if they charge into my elephants. So probably managed to do quite a bit of hit point damage there. Luckily, I've got 1,005 health. At least that's one thing. So getting 14 kills already on those light horse with my Illyrian levies. Just going to make sure that I can hold those units off. Want to keep my units fresh for this battle. So a lot of money has been invested in these elephants. So if I can make them work, it's definitely going to win me the match. All he's got are these slingers. So I mean, yeah, again, another precursor javelin. Didn't realize at all that they had precursors. Well, I did, but I totally forgot. Anyway, his Celtic slingers are forming up. If he can get a whole bunch of shots onto my mercenary Indian war elephants, he can probably take it down. But it would take quite a lot of extended focus fire on my Indian war elephants to take them down. So what he's going to have to rely on are these Celtic warriors and Levy Freemen with their precursor javelins. So already we're getting these Illyrian levies stacked up against the Levy Freemen. So I'm going to chase off these noble horse with my own Hellenic Royal Cav, getting a few kills with my Illyrian levy. Or did I? Yeah, kind of. I'm going to have to pull back though because he's got these Levy Freemen inbound. I didn't realize this, but Illyrian levies actually defeat Levy Freemen in combat one-on-one. So that's pretty handy to know if you have some annoying meat shields that the opponent's kind of throwing at you.
Yes, Commander.
Though, actually, it could be because of the scare effect of these elephants. That could be possibly why they won that engagement. So here we go, we're going to be engaging. I am going to try and start activating my elephants. Going to drag myself all through these Celtic warriors because I'm definitely not going to win this engagement. Going to hopefully chase off these units. I managed to finish off that Levy Freeman over there. We do have... Where did my general go? Holy shit. Oh, here he is. I'm going to finish off these light horse. Just hold them down. These Levy Freemen actually get a really nice jab volley off. So he was going to pull straight through my militia hoplites, and unfortunately it makes my Indian war elephants lose control. So it's just one volley from these Levy Freemen that managed to sneak through, and then we get another volley from these Celtic warriors after they defeat my Illyrian levy. So definitely not in a good place with my Indian war elephants just at this point. Oop. So gonna have to try and get other units into combat, pulling across these Illyrian levies. And I've got these militia hoplites. They are being flanked and attacked in the rear, so they're not going to last too long. Eventually, I'm going to get my elephants back under control and back into the action, but it's going to take a while. Here we go. My Hellenic Royal Cav finishing off a Levy Freeman with the combined efforts of my militia hoplites. I do take a pretty nasty jab volley. These Illyrian levies are probably going to get wrecked by these Celtic warriors. And I'm going to go straight for this big ball of Celtic warriors at this point. So, got my Indian war elephant. Going to just go for gold. Going to hit up these units. I didn't realize that my militia hoplites weren't actually engaged. So, you can see 50-something, 60-something. So, the kills are rising, which is good. But I don't think it's really happening fast enough. Yeah, we managed to almost rout that unit. These Levy Freemen are coming back into the fight, which is pretty annoying. Going to try and finish off these Celtic warriors. What I should be doing really is finishing off these slingers, because those slingers are probably the biggest target or the biggest threat to me at this point. If he keeps those Celtic slingers until the end of the fight, then I'm going to be in pretty rough shape. So again, lost control of my Indian war elephants. I just didn't have any units to kind of help out and support in this little role. So definitely not going too well for me. These militia hoplites and hoplite wall coming up against the Levy Freeman, though they're being attacked in the rear by this noble horse, so probably not in a good place there. Finally, I make the right decision, and I'm going to go straight after these Celtic slingers. I really should have been doing this from the start, just kind of carving them up. And I'm going to let my Indian war elephants take care of these Celtic warriors if they can. They're out of control, so they're probably going to be breaking my own militia hoplites quicker than they can defeat Celtic warriors. So Hellenic Royal Cav again, just pulling down a whole massive bunch of Celtic slingers. They're just so cost-effective. I think it's 280 talons that you pay for these Celtic slingers. They have fairly good missile block chance. They have ammo for days. You know, they're just the best unit. Almost as good as the Swaby slingers. What are they? I can't remember what they're called, but so I just got a double XP chevron on these guys. Or an XP chevron, 242 kills, and still we haven't managed to break these Celtic warriors just yet. And you can see I'm just issuing orders, just making sure they stay moving, stay mobile, just pulling them through the unit back and forth. But it's a little bit too late, and we've only got 4 men left, and they're starting to rout. So finally managed to finish off 2 of these Celtic sling units, not before they get double XP chevrons there, mind you. 20 kills, or 21 kills on that one, and 3 on this unit here. These noble horse are going to come over and silence my Hellenic Royal Cav. And I think you can probably see what's happening here. It's game over for Jujubear. Now he's bringing his... actually he's just got these Levy Freemen like unactivated. So my opponent definitely had that one in the bag. He could see what I was doing, and luckily he had an army pick that was very good counter what I have. 385 kills on the Hellenic Royal Cav, 300 on the elephant. Just wasn't quick enough. I wasn't finishing off units fast enough to really make them that useful. What do we got? 30. Okay, so we got Armenia coming up against Epirus. So a little bit of a switch up. My opponent picked Epirus, and I think it was a little bit cocky. He kind of picked the same build that I had picked in that previous match there. So issuing a bit of a challenge. So this is actually the decider. It's 1-1. So whoever wins this match has won the mini tournament. I've deployed in two separate arms here. So what I've got is an Eastern Slinger bringing up each arm. I've got one Eastern Spearman on this little arm, and I've got 2 Hillmen on this side, and a Mercenary Cappadocian Cav. And I've also got 2 Horse Archers. So if I can use these Horse Archers, again, the best threat that I have against my opponent for these elephants are going to be the Horse Archers, just because the Eastern Slingers, they're going to do a fair bit of damage overall, but if I can use these Eastern Slingers against maybe different targets like the Hellenic Royal Cav, then I'll be a little bit happier. My Hillmen, I don't know how they would perform against the Illyrian levies. What, 28, 26, 25, 26, 14, 37. Yeah, the levies are just a better, 45, 45, 40. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so the levies are much better than my my Hillmen. So what I'm going to have to do with my Hillmen is hopefully use their, because they do have 2 precursor javelins, I believe. So if I can utilize those precursor javelins to my advantage, then I'll be sitting pretty. So what I'm doing here is I've got my Horse Archers. He's kind of allowing me to take some pretty nice shots into the rear of this Indian War Elephant. I didn't realize, I told my opponent here that I was going to play with the weather effects in this match, and he was like, yeah, sure thing, don't worry. So I was like, okay, cool. I put Sandstorm on, which is pretty cool, which is why it looks a little bit bizarre. But with Sandstorm activated, it means that you cannot use Flaming Shot. So I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit here. There's no way that I can make these Indian War Elephants go out of control, just because I do not have the option of using Flaming Shot in these Horse Archers. So it's kind of unfortunate. He does get a volley off there, kills 4 of my Horse Archers there, so probably not doing so well. I've got, oh, here we go. Okay, so he's going to engage with me Indian War Elephants. So what I'm going to have to do with my Eastern Slingers is start opening fire on those guys, just pump them full of stones. I'm going to bring my Horse Archers around at some point. Now, I've got my Hillmen, and if I can get the precursor javelins off at the right time, then I should be sitting okay. I just want to make sure I don't get my Royal Cataphracts caught up in these Indian War Elephants. So again, bring another Horse Archer. I was hoping that he would keep the elephant in the back, but he did exactly what I thought he wouldn't be doing, and he brought them right up the front. So definitely not going to go too well for me. He's smashed right through my Eastern Spearman here, and he's going to go for my Royal Cataphract General. I just knocked down a whole bunch of these Militia Hoplites, and I'm going to pull out and go straight for these Illyrian levies. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just running away. At this point, I'm just trying to get away from this Indian War Elephant. So we've killed one of the elephants there. I do have my Mercenary Cappadocians taking out this Illyrian levy, bringing this other Horse Archer around the flank. My Eastern Spearmen are dying as expected. Going to pull out my Royal Cataphracts away from this engagement here. My Horse Archer's not getting the best shots off. I do have my Eastern Slingers trying to get a good position to take some shots again. Getting a nice rear charge into these Militia Hoplites with my Hillmen in support. I did just pop Second Wind on my Royal Cataphract because I used a trample charge, and I'm going to engage with my Hillmen in these Militia Hoplites. So I don't know. No, I'm definitely not microing as well as I should be. So I'm going to pull out my Royal Cataphracts because I can see that his Hellenic Royal Cav is chasing me. He's just popped. What has he popped? Second Wind. There we go. So my Horse Archers are actually going to get caught on these Hellenic Royal Cav. And it's probably a good thing because I really don't want them to tango. I want to make sure I can keep my Royal Cataphracts well away from this Hellenic Royal Cav. Just because I'm relying on these Royal Cataphracts to break different infantry units. I'm going to stop his Illyrian levies from catching my Eastern Slingers. I'm going to use my Hillmen to kind of stop them in their tracks. At this point, I've got this Eastern Slinger aimed firmly on these Indian War Elephants. We have managed to take out how many? Maybe 4 of these Indian war elephants. So it's really not happening. Oh, sorry, 3 of them. It's really not happening fast enough. So managed to pull out my horse archers with relatively few losses so far. He is going to chase after my Cappadocians at this point. But I'm definitely going to have to do something about these units. He's lost another Indian war elephant. Yeah, so definitely not looking super good. Gonna have to sacrifice my Cappadocian Cav so that I don't catch my my Eastern Slinger. So at this point it's a little bit more of damage control. So he does manage to defeat one of my units there. I'm gonna have to pull back both my Eastern Slinger. Very close match here. Getting some really nice shots in with my on the Hellenic Royal Cav with my Horse Archer here. He does manage to catch the Cappadocian Cav, and he's gonna kill pretty much. Here we go, 30 straight off the bat. I'm going to get a charge up on my Royal Cataphract. Don't know if that was a good idea or not. Though it does give me a little bit more time to get some nice shots with my Eastern Slingers there. And they are dropping fairly quickly at this point. So we've managed to neutralize the threat that comes with these elephants. But in doing that, he has managed to catch my Royal Cataphract General with his Hellenic Royal Cav. And I'm going to have to try and see if I can get these kills on these Hellenic Royal Cav before they can do any more damage. Gonna throw in these Cappadocian Cav against another target. I think yeah, here we go. Gonna charge straight into these Illyrian levies. These Illyrian levies were worth their weight in gold in this match. Just doing a lot of very important jobs that he really needed them to do. So here we go. Royal Cataphract General down to 15 men. They got a lot of kills, and at this point, yeah, he's gonna go straight into my Eastern Slingers. I'm going to have to try and hold him off with my East Mercenary Cappadocian Cav. We managed to almost defeat these Illyrian levies. I think I popped Whistling Shot, there we go. Just to try and finish off this unit and send him off the board quicker than normal. Cappadocian Cav killing off these Hellenic Royal Cav. These Hellenic Royal Cav have got a lot of kills so far. Whoops. 90 kills so far, double XP chevrons. All good stuff. A lot of those kills were actually on my Royal Cataphract General there, so gonna have to try and make sure I can get them off the field. We are getting some nice rear shots on these Illyrian levies, and they're gonna break soon, hopefully. There we go. Do have a lot of ammo left on my Eastern Slinger, so if I can defeat his Hellenic Royal Cav and get this guy off the field, then I should be in a good place to win the match. And hopefully kite around. Even though it doesn't look like I have much left on the field, with these Eastern Slingers and these Horse Archers, I should be able to seal the deal. Just getting some nice shots in these Hellenic Royal Cav. Yes, there we go. Down to 3 men, 1 man, there we go. And they are gone. And I believe that means there's a pretty hefty... Yeah, here we go. General recently died, so a pretty hefty morale shock that's been applied to my opponent. Gonna get some nice shots into here with my Eastern Slingers onto these Militia Hoplites. At this point, I think I'm running out of ammo. I haven't run out just yet, but I'm not looking heaps good. But the fact that I've got a couple of Horse Archers in the late game mean that I'm probably going to be doing okay. So I thought I would just send in a charge against these Militia Hoplites. Even though they are very heavy spear infantry, I thought I'd just apply a kind of like a morale shock to those units, but it turned out to be a pretty bad idea. I totally forget that these guys are very heavy spear infantry every now and then, so not a good idea. Anyway, Eastern Slinger's getting some nice shots on these Militia Hoplites. They are dropping fairly quickly. He's going to chase me off with these Illyrian levies. Thankfully, this Horse Archer didn't break. It's about to break. It's kind of teetering on the edge of breaking. But thankfully, it didn't, so we're going to be alright. Getting these Horse Archers, and I think I'm going to charge into the back of these medium melee infantry here. Yep. So unfortunately, these Horse Archers are very light kind of missile calves, so they're not going to have the best impact damage if they charge in. But we do manage to do some pretty good morale shock penalties to those Illyrian levies, and they have managed to crack. These Horse Archers going to be getting some nice shots on these Militia Hoplites. He only has 2 Militia Hoplites left with 77 and 78 men, so a very close match so far. I'm getting these Eastern Slingers focusing firing on these Militia Hoplites. If I can keep this up for a little bit longer, I'll be able to crack these units. But it looks like he's got these Militia Hoplites bearing down upon me. Yep, there we go. So that one cracked. And it looks like we're just about to see a crack here as well. There we go. Okay. Holy crap. So that's probably the closest Total War Tuesday that I've ever played. Big thanks to Seraphim for the game, for the games. Definitely a very good, a worthy opponent. That first match, I got lucky with the spawn location, and I managed to spring a pretty good ambush on him. The second match was pretty close, and then that third match, very, very close. Didn't use my horse archers as well as I thought I probably should. And he did manage to use his Hellenic Royal Cav to some devastating effect. But anyway, thanks for the game, dude. We'll see you guys later. This is Jujubear signing out. Peace.